Yo, what's up guys, it's ApTreX here. Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we'll be talking about the latest updates regarding the Cassia Windows Emulator for Android. Now Windows Emulator for Android has been very controversial topic in the past few weeks because there have been some controversial Windows emulators for Android and development related to them, such as the Mobox Emulator, even the Box Emulator and ApTreX Emulator, and it really makes me think like what is the future of Windows emulation on Android. If you guys don't already know, one of the best Windows emulator known as Mobox might be getting shut down due to recent controversies regarding the developer of Mobox Emulator and also fan-made port of Mobox Edge and also Box Emulator. Now all of this is very complicated. I can explain it to you guys in a future video, but today let's focus on Cassia, which is the least controversial Windows emulator for Android, also has some promising results. So basically right here is the screenshot of Cassia Windows emulator managing to run Steam on Android. Now this is very unique because none of the other Windows emulator for Android can run Steam properly on our device. I have tried running Steam on the DarkOS emulator, where Steam is actually an tweak package that is already available inside the emulator, but unfortunately even so the Steam does not actually open, whereas in the Cassia Windows emulator you guys will be able to see that the Steam library has successfully launched. It also means that the compatibility of Cassia emulator will skyrocket, like many games will be compatible, and as Cassia will also be Wine based, we can expect it to run games like Red Dead Redemption 2, Cyberpunk 2077, GTA 5, GTA 4 and many other games like Mafia 2, Far Cry 3, etc. So obviously Cassia will be one of the best Windows PC emulators for Android, and if you guys don't already know, then it will be releasing in this year itself, which is another good news. And I think the minimum requirements will also be similar, Android version 8 or above, 4 to 6 GB of RAM and preferably a Snapdragon processor, though we can't really talk about the optimizations on MediaTek and Exynos processor as the emulator hasn't released yet. As far as I know, Cassia Emulator will also be in an app format. It won't be using Termux or Termux X11, which is another very impressive and great news because we are all tired of using Termux. It is a bit complicated to set up if you are a beginner in terms of Windows emulation on Android. Getting an app will be much more easier, and Cassia will be completely open source emulator as well. Not just Steam, but Cassia developers also managed to boot Rockstar Games launcher on their emulator, and we have also seen many gameplay images in our previous videos of Cassia Emulator running PC games. You can watch those videos on the iCard above, and this project will be the successor of Skyline Emulator. So obviously the developers are reliable, they are knowledgeable, and it is also much better option than developing a Nintendo Switch emulator for Android due to the recent situation regarding Yuzu emulator and all. So yeah, the emulation on Android scenario is getting very complicated nowadays, but there are only two emulators which are not in any controversies in terms of PC emulation. It is the Winlator Android and the second one is Cassia Emulator. So I really hope that there will be a bright future instead of just people fighting over these emulators and trolls trying to troll the developer of other emulators, like it happened with Aether SX2, where the developer was so fed up he stopped his project and sold it to someone else. And recently we have been losing emulators left and right. We lost Lemonade 3DS emulator, we lost official Citra Android, we also lost Yuzu emulator, Suyu emulator, and there are no developments regarding Sudachi emulator. So obviously everything is a bit dark now, but future will always hold something brighter. So that's about it for today's video. If you guys are new here, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on all notification, as I'll keep you guys up to date with the latest emulation news. Let's hope the best for the Cassia Windows emulator.